This is the show that has a proven track record.
You have to connect with the fans. If you can't connect with the fans, you're never going to really have anybody on your side.
This is a show that has a real approach to sports.
They've been terrible, but now they've gotten some young players, and they're still bad right now, yeah. But they're getting better.
This is a show that's not going to give you the sweet stuff.
They're decimated with injuries. No one on that staff seems to be able to pitch right now.
This is the award-winning show that's giving you the truth, just like they always have.
What are we talking about?
Where are we at in society today?
Listen and learn.
This is Delay of Game, the Sports Talk podcast.
And hello, everyone. We are back. It is so good to return after I don't know how many month hiatus. It really wasn't a hiatus. We were just kind of slightly forced out, I guess, due to unfortunate circumstances. And then we decided to start a little thing called The Route. And then after a little while, it was kind of like, there's nothing happened with Delay of Game. Why not just bring it back? So we got it back, and here we are. We're so hyped. My goodness. I'm just like, I need my soundbite board. Where is it? Oh, I have to get used to this. Yes.
Hell yeah.
We are back.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Whoa.
Oh, man. Let's go, man. I'm Ryan Swanigan. This is Brent BonFleur, who's looking at me like, who's this guy? Well,
I don't know.
He's the guy who's been working with me for the last, what is this now, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years,
yeah. Something like that.
It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, Anyways, we are just excited to finally be back and for me to be able to say the words, welcome into Delay of Game. I can't even spit them out. I'm so excited.
Yay!
I know. It's just absolutely wonderful. As a good friend of ours said once upon a time,
This is Delay of Game.
it is. It finally is once again. That's Cody Broder, which we will have hopefully on the show at some point in the future. What today's podcast is here on this January the 3rd of 2016, a new year, a new show. Kind of. It's not it's a return of a show, but it has, some new things. What today's podcast is about really is just kind of an introductory podcast to let you all know what we have in store for this year, or I should say for Delay of Game, who we're going to have on. It's not just me and Brent, believe it or not. We have a third member of this crew who is missing today, but will be with us next week on January the 10th when we have our first full-length show. And, of course, we'll have all sorts of fun elements involved in that podcast. And really, it's going to be a mixture of the old Delay of Game that a lot of you heard on KRNU and whatever you all heard with The Route. We're keeping some of the elements from that, transferring them into Delay of Game. We're bringing back some old things from Delay of Game. For example, we are going to have the random facts. That has been a long-standing, I guess, really long-standing part of Delay of Game. And so I thought, well, let's keep it going. So Delay of Game will continue on. That's really, to be fully honest with you, the only thing that's carried over from the old Delay of Game is the random facts. Also, my rant, of course, we will have that as well. So I guess that's from when I took over. Random facts is from when Delay of Game first began, going all the way back to Josh Hilkeman, Ben McLaughlin, and John Kipper. Kind of some name drops right there now, 6 years later, I think, maybe, something like that. So those are the only two old things from Delay of Game that we will have. We are bringing 3 things over from The Route, and that's what's really going on with Brent BonFleur. I know you're very excited for that to continue on. That's always a great
I've got a good one for next week.
Oh, man, I'm excited. That's really also a great, I guess, portion of the show that brings out a lot of fiery talk between the two of us. I'm very interested to see how the third member of our crew does with that.
I mean, obviously he'll agree with me because I'm always right.
Well,
You better double check that, my friend.
yeah, basically, Brent, you might want to. So we'll have that. We will also have under review, but under review is not the under review of the route. It is under review is kind of a combination of not delay of game. Under review is a combination
Under the route.
Yeah, under the route. Yeah, it's a combination from the route of under review and. Why am I spacing out on this? This is terrible.
Delay of route.
No, out of play.
Oh.
There it is. Out of play and under review kind of combined together. The purpose of out of play remains, but under review takes the title place for that segment. So
Gotcha.
That's what we have going on with that. So that is under review, and of course, I just really couldn't let this go, and I guess this is the only intro that we'll play for you here on our introductory podcast. We just couldn't let this special segment go, and here's a preview, at least, of what it sounds like.
And now to a story about someone in the sports world who was just being too selfish or immature. It's time for...
It's your world, and we're just living in it.
Just perfect music for it. It's too perfect. The whole thing is just too perfect. And I like I said, I couldn't let this go. I really couldn't. You know, it was too good to pass up. So it's your world, and we're just living in it. We'll also be carried over from the route and come back and join in on delay of game. We'll also have our predictions as well. We always make the predictions, so we'll have that. And you're all probably wondering by now, well, who's the third member of your podcast? It is the one and only Matt Rigby. He used to host a show, I think a year ago around this time, or maybe a little over a year ago on KRNU2. He was a frequent guest of Delay of Game, hosted a couple of times, actually. And you can hear him and Michael Dixon on some beautiful podcasts, which is on our website. Listen carefully, because Brett and I went through this, and it was a difficulty trying to find the web address, web address.
Really struggling.
One that wasn't taken, basically. And so we finally found the Delay of Game podcast.wordpress.com. That is...
Say that one more time.
Yeah, that is the name of our website, the Delay of Game podcast, all lowercase, .wordpress.com. Of course, everything's
Don't forget
lowercase.
the.
Yeah, the Delay of Game podcast.com.
.wordpress.com.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't that be great if
we
it was
messed
just
it
cut
up already, yeah.
cut that part out and just do that? But
Yeah.
no, it's the Delay of Game podcast.wordpress.com. So that is our website. Facebook and Twitter. It is still the same Facebook page. That's one of the big reasons that I had to make sure I got the show back, is because of the Facebook page. It's already well established. We have 170 likes on the Facebook page. Go and like our Facebook page, by the way, if you haven't yet. Facebook.com/delayofgame.
Yep.
On Twitter, there is the old Twitter handle got changed to the route. Well, now we changed it back to Delay of Game, but it's a different Twitter handle for Delay of Game. It is at DOG_podcast. Or if you want to type it in the URL, it is twitter.com/DOG_podcast. Or if you're on Twitter, just click in the search box and type in at DOG_podcast. That is our Twitter handle. And finally, of course, we're on YouTube, and that has also changed from the route to Delay of Game. Everything that we had from the route is still in existence. It still is there. It's on the Delay of Game YouTube page. It's also on our website under a heading called The Route, and it's in parentheses. So all of the old shows from The Route are on our website, thedelayofgamepodcast.wordpress.com, and on our YouTube page. Just search Delay of Game. You'll probably find a whole bunch of podcasts that say The Route or podcast and then the date following it. Those are the old Route podcasts. Next week we will start the first Delay of Game podcast and have that uploaded, so you'll start seeing more Delay of Game podcasts as the year continues. So, with that said, I hope I have I forgotten anything? I think I've thoroughly explained all 4 of the basic social media aspects.
Yeah.
What's in store for the show? Oh, okay. I said Matt Rigby too, so we got him introduced to the show.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to having Matt Rigby joining us. That's going to be a lot of fun, and of course, we're going to have all sorts of guests. We're gonna really try and keep up the guest podcasts, I guess. Kind of didn't do exactly a good job with that on the Route, but we'll try it for a Delay of Game. Delay of Game's always known for bringing in guests of high quality and high caliber knowledge when it comes to the sports world, so we will try and continue that tradition. We'll certainly have John Kipper and Doug Lowry on, maybe on at the same time. That's always fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They might have their own special podcast. Again, just hearing those two bicker is just, it's beautiful music. They even might be starting up their own podcast, some competition.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, stay tuned for information on that if you want to hear those two. Oh,
sorry, I'm just...
You okay?
Well, I had to get the third one out. Yeah.
Oh, the third one?
You're good.
Why?
Yeah. Well, you don't just ha. You gotta,
Oh, you have to repeat it 2 more times?
Yeah, the big one.
Okay. I think you might have maxed out right there.
I think I did.
For a second. But anyways, so in addition, John Kipper, Doug Lowry. We'll also have all sorts of other guests on the show. We'll probably have Amsley Sinkbile. We're trying for Cody Broder. We really, really are. I want that kid back on this show so badly. It's just.
Do you like to hear yourself sounding like an idiot?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make you sound like a moron.
Yeah. That's ultimately why we have Cody Broder on this show. So one, he can continue to drop just absolutely gorgeous sound bites.
His quarterback race is wide open.
Exactly.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Speaking of Friday, it's actually after Thursday.
Yeah. And Brent's personal favorite,
Chris Ames, I hear he has good hair.
Yes. The one compliment about the former, what was your old show? 2 for 2? Yeah. The one compliment that we ever heard from Cody Broder about your old partner from 2 for 2.
Well,
believe it or not. But that's okay, Brent. We still love you, and I'm sure deep down Cody does too. He just has some sort of, I don't know, distaste for your creativity.
I don't know. Let's just call it jealousy, Ryan.
Oh, that's even better. That sounds really good. I'd play a Cody soundbite for that, but
that's so original.
Yeah, there you go. That was a good one. Oh, anyways.
Speaking of snow or lack of snow, it's pretty warm over in Arizona.
Nope, there's definitely no lack of snow around here, so that's for sure. So, with that, I believe that's all we've got for the introductory podcast. Again, just to get you all acclimated with what's coming for Delay of Game, where you can find us. I'll go over those again, facebook.com/Delay of Game, twitter.com/DOG_podcast. Of course, just type in Delay of Game on YouTube to find our YouTube page. Best of luck with that. But if you can't, you can go to our website, which is thedelayofgamepodcast.wordpress.com. And I am really looking forward to being able to say welcome back into Delay of Game. Did I say that before? I'm really, really excited. Brent, I know, is excited. He hasn't talked much. He's a little tired today, but that's okay.
What?
Yeah, exactly my point. So, with that, our old closer music.
I know.
Yeah,
now
we got that going too. So we have that, And that is all we have for you on this introductory podcast. Next week, Matt Rigby will be with us. He is the third co-host on the new edition of Delay of Game, the podcast edition. Looking forward, I should say, to next week, and be looking out for the first podcast, the first full-length, roughly an hour-long podcast. We won't be doing all of the different segments that we mentioned. We'll cut out one or two, but we'll definitely have a good chunk of them in store next week. And that's all we got. For Brent BonFleur, I'm Ryan Swanigan. Matt Rigby with us next week for the first ever Delay of Game podcast following a however many month-long hiatus that we have been on. But at the end of the day, it's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. I'm so happy to be back. We'll see you next week, everybody.